Going live. Alrighty, you are looking live at Sold Out MetLife Stadium, where today the 16-0 and playoff-bound New York Giants will be taking on the 0-16 San Francisco 49ers. And why the San Francisco 49ers 0-16? Because they suck. Oh, man, that never gets old. Welcome to the Gridiron. Anybody out there at all is going to spend a little bit of time with me here this evening, I greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Or if anybody's going to spend any time watching a replay this, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me. Thank you. Going to try to go about 30 minutes here tonight. Shoot my mouth off for about 30 minutes. Anybody got anything to say, please feel free, fire away, throw in the chat box. Usually try to check on the chat box like every 5 or 10 minutes or so. So as soon as I see something in there, I try to respond to it as fast as I can. So please feel free, fire away. Plus, instead of me just rambling on, like half an hour, 45 minutes, whatever, it's just nice to talk to another Giant fan. So please feel free and fire away. Before I get started, if anybody wants to help support my channel out, it would mean the absolute world to me. In the description box below, the top link in the description box takes you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. The first one's called the Saquon. Second one's called the Lawrence Taylor. And the third one I got is called the Gridiron. Each one has their own little perks to them. So if you want to help support my channel out, it would mean so much to me. And I thank you in advance. If you are subscribed to my channel, once again, thank you. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. It means so much to me. I can use all the support I can get, guys. But if you're not subscribed, please go down below. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon. That way, next time I go live or I put a video out, you'll be notified. It's free of charge. What do you got to lose? But if you are subscribed to my channel, thank you. And then finally, in the description box below, there's 3 links. I used to have a Facebook group and a Facebook page, but something happened to the page, and Facebook is reviewing the page, and I have no idea why. It doesn't. With their, I don't know, whatever, their standards or something like that. There's a problem with the page, and it's been in review now for like over a month. Zuckerberg or whatever the guy's name is from Facebook has no problem, making millions and trillions of dollars on Facebook for some reason. You can't pick a phone up and talk to anybody or not like that. So due to the worthless moron, Zuckerberg, I have no idea what's going on with my page. And it's been in review for over a month, and it doesn't look like it's ever going to be published ever again because no idea. The idiots at Facebook. So I got a top link, takes you to my Facebook group. Then I got 2 other ones. Follow me on Twitter, and then I got TikTok too. All right, so I'm putting videos up on TikTok, putting stuff up on Twitter, and I got a Facebook group. The Facebook group's doing really well. We have over 6,200 members in it, doing fantastic. All right, so if you get a chance, join the group, follow me on Twitter, and check out my TikTok page or whatever you want to call it, right? And follow me over there and everything like that, right? So we got all kinds of stuff going on, all right? So all that stuff said and done. Oh boy. Well, I tell you what, the high still hasn't wore off yet. I'll tell you what, it's a win's a win, and it's an absolute fantastic feeling. Still hasn't, still haven't gotten over it. It still feel fantastic, but good old Saquon. Let's see here. He's got his, thankfully, it looks like we kind of dodged a bullet with Saquon. It looks like it's going to be just like a sprain and might be out a few weeks. He's not, unfortunately, we're not going to have him. Well, it's like, well, we're missing him against some good teams. Well, it is what it is. I mean, through all the teams we're playing earlier on are good, but for the most part, so looks like we're going to miss him for at least the next probably few weeks. Easy. There ain't no way he's playing this Thursday. And he's certainly going to wind up missing the game against the Seahawks on Monday night. Be interesting to see if they put him on IR. Then he would have to miss at least 4 weeks. Do they think he can come back in 3 weeks? It's going to be very, very interesting to see what they wind up doing with him, where they want to take it from here. But thankfully, we dodged a bullet. Thankfully. Because, obviously, certainly not saying we're going to the Super Bowl or nothing like that after our performance against the Cowboys. We beat the Cardinals, thankfully, with epic comeback, which we'll go over that in just in a bit here. But, we're playing. Let's see let's got to take one game at a time here, So, obviously, in the 49ers is going to be a monumental effort to just try to come out of there with a victory. So, and hey, that's why you play the games. You never know. But it's it's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult. It says no Saquon Barkley for the Giants when they face the 49ers on Thursday night. And it certainly looks as if no Saquon Barkley for Week 4 Monday Night Football against the Seahawks. Perhaps Barkley can make it back for the October 8th game against the Dolphins, because we can certainly use him there. Absolutely. That will be 21 days after Barkley sprained his right ankle in the closing minutes of the Giants' astonishing 31-28 comeback victory over the Cardinals. The immediate thoughts after the game was that Barkley suffered a low ankle sprain, and on Monday that was revealed to be the case after Barkley had an MRI on his ankle. So at least it wasn't a high ankle sprain, because usually those take a little bit longer. As we found out, Saquon had his high ankle sprain a few years ago, tried to come back way too early from it, and he was rather ineffective. It says ESPN reported it is an ordinary ankle sprain, and that the timetable for return is 3 weeks. So that would be fantastic. So if we can only miss 2 games with him, and if he can come back, now let's not forget, he comes back, if he's against the Dolphins, that baby's going to have 37 rolls of tape wrapped around that baby, and they still won't be probably at 100%. But we dodged a big bullet, right? This means there will be there won't be a heavyweight running back duel at Levi's Stadium featuring Barkley and Christian McCaffrey. Well, I don't think there was ever going to be one anyway. I mean, the tools that the 49ers have, I don't want to be Debbie Downer. They got some good, with Ayuk and the Skittle man, McCaffrey. He sure looks purty, right? They got some good weapons, and I don't know, the way the Giants, the way they looked in the first 1.5 games. Thankfully, they woke up in time for the second half. Now, can they continue that second half magic going up against the 49ers? They're going to need some of that, but they're also going to need their defense to actually come out and play. They played the final 3 series against the Cardinals, but that was after they just walked up and down the field, making the Cardinals look like the greatest, greatest show on turf there for a while. I mean, just they got Dobbs, a quarterback, and he's not a starting quarterback, but we're sure making him look good. Oh yeah, he's looking like Joe Montana out there. This is obviously we'll miss him. He's a huge part of what we're doing. Daniel Jones, fresh off a stunning second half passing and running display, said Monday, guys will have to step up, and it won't be any one guy. It will be everyone elevating their play and stepping up. I'm confident we can do that. Fortunately for Barkley, this is a well-traveled road for him. Yep. At least for him, he's got his contract. He's not going to make the incentives. I highly doubt it. But at least he's guaranteed his whatever is like $10.1 million. So he's guaranteed that. So, but this is also going to once again come into play at the end of the season. The Giants are going to have to make their decision once again on Saquon. Should he stay? Should he get, what they're going to pay him and all this stuff and everything. But once again, I couldn't do it. Don't get me wrong. I couldn't even make it through a game, so much less a season. But it's been very consistent with him as far as missing time. Now, it's not from lack of effort. The guy's out there giving it his all. But let's see. After a healthy rookie season, he missed 3 games in 2019, dealing with the right ankle sprain. I believe that was the high ankle sprain. That is what he's dealing with now. But I think back then it was a high ankle sprain. In 2020, he missed 14 games after tearing his ACL. 2021, he missed 4 games with okay, my bad. I apologize. 2021, he missed 4 games with a high left ankle sprain. That's what it was. Okay. My bad. Let's see. Barkley looked despondent in the locker room following the game. Yep. I think he's doing all right. Jones said he's a mature guy. Obviously, he's disappointed. I feel for him on that. He's going to work hard to come back. Barkley's track record is that he attempts to shorten the recovery time and come back more quickly than expected. He has said previously that looking back, he returned to action too soon following his ankle issues. Yep. I mean, you need time. And, he's come back. So he's tried to come back sometimes too soon. And then what winds up happening is you make it even worse. You prolong it even longer, unfortunately. So, let's see here. What we got here? Given that he's not under contract for the 2024 season, will he try to rush back this time? But at least whatever he's missing, he's guaranteed money. So, right. Said Barkley went down as a shame with only 1:12 left in the game, fighting for extra push on a 2-yard run as the Giants were in the midst of coming back from a 21-point third quarter deficit, setting up Graham Gano for his eventual 34-yard game-winning field goal. Giants down 20 points at halftime, went into the pass mode in the second half, but Barkley did get the ball 10 times. It was an unusually high snap count for Barkley. He played in almost every snap. 66 of the 68 offensive plays, Barkley was out there. He finished with 63 rushing yards and caught 6 passes for another 29. So he had, 92 all-purpose yards. For the second consecutive game, Barkley had a pass come off his hands that resulted in an interception. Yeah. That didn't help. Barkley, though, had a rushing and receiving touchdown in the second half surge, and now he will miss some time again. Whatever it is, we'll have a plan ready to go, said Brian Daboll. Said if he can play, he can play. If he can't, we'll have other guys prepared and ready to go. So they got the 28-year-old Matt Breida. In 2 games this season, he has only 3 rushing attempts for 14 yards now. He was with the Bills in 2021 with Daboll, with the offensive coordinator in Buffalo. Now, they gave him the ball the one time. I believe he got a 5-yard gain on it. So, he's a capable running back. Yeah, very capable running back. So, and he said we got Gray, we got Brightwell, and let's not forget Brightwell came up with very nice, that special teams tackle right at the end of the game. Very nice, because they kicked it, and I believe it made it where I hit the ground so they couldn't fair catch it. Because he kicked it up in the air, they just fair catch it. Boom, they catch it. I guess they bring it out to the 25, but fair catch. No time runs off the clock. So the object was that they just bounce it down there where they had to field it, start running, take some time off the clock. Now what was you were holding your breath and your fingers, crossing your fingers and down on your knees. Sweet dear baby Jesus, please let us make a tackle, please. Sweet dear baby Jesus, please. Can we make it there? And Brightwell came up big. Came up very, very big, because our special teams coverage units are not elite. So that was huge, because it took a few seconds, like 4 seconds, I think, off the clock. So they really didn't get anywhere. They took 4 seconds off the clock, which wound up being huge. So, all right, now we got team and player grades here, and we got some good. And then I'm going to go over I'm going to start over the player grades, but then I'm going to finish off with the team grades here. Of course, offense will start off with Daniel Jones. Now, funny, just what a difference a week can make, right? The week before, Daniel Jones was the worst graded offensive player for the Giants. And just kind of odd because the guy's running for his life the whole game. And, he didn't have a great game, obviously. But, they don't seem to factor in the fact that as the ball's being snapped to him, as he's getting the ball, there's like 17 Dallas Cowboys in the backfield already. It just, I don't know. I guess they don't take that into account here at PFF. I don't know. But he was the worst graded one on the offense in week 1. Week 2, he's graded at a 92.5 by PFF. Absolutely phenomenal. So well deserved it. Jalen Hyatt almost got to a 90, 89.9. Now let's not forget let's hope, keep our fingers crossed and all this stuff and everything that he works his way up. His Hyatt was only in there for 14 snaps. Had the 2 pass plays, had for 89 yards. So, basically 1 out of every 7 snaps he was in there for, he caught a pass. Now, that wasn't the case against the Cowboys. That was this case, this week. Okay, so each week obviously is different. So after 2 games, he only has 2 catches. So does that mean, he's only going to average a catch a game? No, but, yes, I guess they're moving him along slowly, I guess. Then Darren Waller, 75.9. He was in there for 61 snaps. Darius Slayton, he was in there for 56 snaps, 70.9. Saquon did well, even though he dropped the 1 pass that led to an interception. He was in there for 66 snaps. He was 70.7. John Michael Schmitz was in there for all the snaps at 68, 69.3. Very good. I saw different reports. One said that he hasn't allowed a sack in the first 2 games, I believe it was. And then I saw another report saying, I don't know, they gave up a sack against the Cardinals. Let me look at them. Let me see if I can. Let's see here. Oh, here. Let's see now here. Pass blocking. Let's see here. Pass blocking. Okay. Yeah, according to here, I saw a report saying he hasn't allowed a sack yet, but here on PFF, that's all I'm going by, right? They said he gave up a sack. He gave up 1 pressure. He's given up 4 pressures so far. Against the Cowboys, he gave up 1 hit and 2 hurries. Here he gave up a sack. So he's given up 4 pressures so far. But, his pass blocking efficiency is a 97.2, which is pretty good. And once again, he's only played 2 games in the NFL. So really looks like we found ourselves our center of the future. So we know we have our left tackle of the future. Hopefully the guy can stay healthy. We know we have our center of the future. We're not so sure about Evan Neal. We're not so sure if he's going to be the tackle or if we're going to have to slide him into guard. We'll have to wait and see. Marcus McKeithen at right guard, graded out of 69.2. He played in every game. He played in every snap. 69.2. His run blocking was a 71.7. Very, very good. Very impressive. Isaiah Hodgins, he was 51 snaps, 66.9. And I heard also his wife and son his son was very, very young. And, I'm sorry. I'm trying to got my dog in front of me here. I'm trying to stretch my legs out so I don't want to kicking him. Good old Randy. Anyway, after he caught that touchdown reception, he went to the back of the end zone, and that was the end zone that his wife and son were at. And he gave his son the football, which was pretty cool because his son's so young. He said he's not going to remember the moment, but but because his son looked pretty young, but he gave him the football, so that was pretty special. I think he said it might have been his birthday too. Mark Lewinsky, right guard, 66.7. His pass block was better at 78.8. So that's good. Maybe a little fire underneath him after being benched. Joshua Zudu at left tackle, 65.7. Ben Bredesen at left guard, he was 63.2. Now I have to keep an eye on him because he got a concussion. So for him to get a concussion on Sunday, and he got up and he was kind of woozy and everything. That's why he stood up, and I think he fell back down again. I think they had to kind of help him off the field because you can see his head gets hit by another helmet and it snapped his head back. So he got a little nice concussion there. So he won't be playing. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of offensive line. Oh my goodness, we're gonna have a go up against the 49ers. I mean, it's nice to have McKeithen and Azudu in there and all, but man, you put some young guys out there. I mean, if you're putting Azudu and McKeithen out there and Neal, and then Michael Schmidt's out there, whew. I mean, that's if Andrew Thomas can't go, of course. But I mean, you can have 4 real young guys out there. Holy cow. Ben Bredesen has he graded at 63.2. Gary Brightwell was in there for 2 snaps. He graded out a 60. Daniel Bellinger was in there for 28 snaps. It's 56.2. Matt Breida was in there for 2 snaps. He graded out a 55.3. Paris Campbell, 45 snaps. He graded out a 55. That doesn't seem like, because seems like Daniel Jones has got a connection with Waller. He's got a connection with Hodgins. He's got a connection going on with Slayton. Seems like he needs to work his way into with a Hyatt and Paris Campbell. Now, obviously, he has connections with Sterling Shepard too, who only played in 10 snaps, graded out of 48.6. So, it seems like he has to start getting a little bit more better of a feel, I'm going to say, with Paris Campbell. Evan Neal was in at right tackle. Every snap, he was 45.9. He still had some struggles there. Nothing wasn't as bad as it was last week, but PFF graded his pass block as a 54.1, and his run block was a 54.5. So overall, he gave him a 45.9. And Matt Parrott, left tackle for 5 snaps, he was a 43.4. So I don't know what the heck they're going to do with the offensive line at the end of the season. It's going to be very, very interesting. And speaking of offensive line, let's go to the defensive line. I don't know what they're going to do with now, of course, Sexy Dexy, 86.5. He had a solid game, even though he didn't. Let's see what he have. He had 2 hits and 3 hurries, according to PFF. But they're going to be very interested with Leonard Williams because, I don't know what he graded out at here. He didn't grade out too bad, according to PFF. That's all I'm going by. He graded out a 73.4, Leonard Williams. He had 4 hurries, according to PFF. But he graded a 73.4, but him, Kayvon Thibodeau, some of these guys, it's like, where are they? Isaiah Simmons, he was only in there for 13 snaps. Hopefully he'll start getting more and more playing time. But he graded out at 86.4 in his 13 snaps. He was in coverage for 9 snaps. Pass rush for 3 and run defense for 1. So he in his pass rush, he rushed 3 times and he got 1 hurry. So imagine if they rushed him 9 times. At that rate, he would have had at least 3 pressures. He would have had maybe 3 hurries. So he didn't play a lot of snaps against the Cowboys. Let's see how many. It wasn't many. It was in the teens. 15. Yeah. So 15. And then he had 30. He's only played 28 snaps so far for the Giants in 2 games. So hopefully, as the weeks go by, they'll start putting him in there a little bit more and more and more. He only has 1 pressure so far. He didn't have anything against the Cowboys. Then again, against the Cowboys, he graded out a 58.9, according to PFF. That's all I'm going by. 86.4 was what he graded out yesterday. against his former team. Of course, that didn't hurt either, but he was only in there for 13 snaps. But he did very, very well. Trey Hawkins, the third, 78.4. Very, very good. What was it? He didn't give up a reception at all. He was targeted 2 times, did not give up a reception. Leonard Williams, as I said, he was in there for 38 snaps. He graded out 73.4. Says he had 4 pressures, 4 hurries, it said. Oshane Ximines was in there for 20 snaps, graded out of 71. Ashawn Robinson was in there for 21 snaps. He graded at 68.4. Jason Pinnock was in there for 63 snaps. He graded out of 63. He led the team in tackles, which is not always the greatest thing when your safety leads the team in tackles. I think it was 10 solo tackles and 3 assisted tackles. 13 for your safety. Now, I know sometimes he might have been in the box, maybe, or moved up, whatever, but that's not ideal, which makes a lot of sense because they completed passes in the secondary, but also the running back quite often found his way into the secondary. It's like, where is our defensive front? Where is the defensive line at? I mean, Jihad Ward, one of the plays, my goodness. I mean, it was kind of like one of those RPOs, whatever, Dobbs, I guess, was like getting ready to hand the ball off his probably to Connor, and Hottie just came straight down the line of scrimmage. Oh, the quarterback's looks like he's going to hand the ball off to the running back. It's got to be a handoff to the running back, right? So I'm just going to crash on down the line of scrimmage, and I'm going to tackle him in the backfield. Woo! I'm going to get up, pound my chest, take my helmet and turn it sideways or whatever he does, pound my chest. Hottie's the man, baby. So he comes running down the line of scrimmage, and, of course, Dobbs just pulls the ball out and runs around the edge there and gains a boatload of yardage. I mean, set the edge, would you? Jesus, God, make sure the guy actually gets the ball. I mean, I came in. Sometimes it's unbelievable. I mean, you got a running quarterback there because he's looking like he's going to hand the ball. That means he's going to hand. Are you been kidding me? Jesus, God, set the fucking edge. Karake was 62.6. He was in there for, it looked like, I guess, every snap. Yep, 64. Yep. Bobby McCain, good. Glad he's back. Good. He's back. He only played 3 snaps now, 61.2, though, but I'm glad he's back. Right. Adoree Jackson, he played the whole game. He graded a 55.5. DJ Davidson, 16 snaps. He graded 55.2. Dane Belton, 6 snaps, 55.1. Raheem Nunez-Rochez, 26 snaps. He graded a 53.8. Kayvon, he was in there for 60 snaps. He graded a 52.4. Xavier McKinney, 64 snaps. He graded a 50.9. Boogie, 48.4. He was in there for 13 snaps. Deontay Banks, he was in there for every snap. He graded a 44.5. He gave up 4 receptions on 6 targets. So I think that against the Cowboys, he was they threw at him 2 times and he gave up no receptions. So far in the year, I believe, he's been targeted 8 times and he's only given up 4 receptions. So he gave up 49 yards in receptions. So in 2 games, our number 1 overall pick is giving up 4 receptions for 49 yards. So. And he's only going to get better. So looks like we made a good pick there with him. Jihad Ward, he was in there for 35 snaps, graded at 39.4. I mean, his run defense was at 37.7. I mean, that explains, one of the things that I said. I mean, he just came running right down the line of scrimmage. I'm going to tackle, I guess it was probably Connor in the backfield. Dobbs pulls the ball out and runs around the edge and gains like, I don't know, whatever, 10 yards or whatever it was. It's like, set the edge. And Micah McFadden had a tough game. He was in there for 48 snaps, 34.3. His run defense was a 38.3. His tackle was a 24.8. I mean, just tough. I mean, it just the run defense. My goodness, We couldn't stop the Cowboys. Not that the Cowboys had 300 yards rushing against us, but we really had a hard time stopping them. I mean, Connor just kept chewing up yards. Dobbs, had some running yards as well, too. But, I mean, where is this run defense at? Well, I'll tell you what, whoever our first overall pick is next year, I wouldn't even complain if it was the first and second round. You can go first, second, and third. If we let's start piling up guys on the offense and defensive line. Let's just start, beefing up the lines. I mean, because both of them have been disappointments this year so far. I mean, the offensive line wasn't too bad yesterday, but we're talking about the Cardinals. They're not the fearsome foursome. They're not the steel curtain or nothing. They play hard, very hard. You got to give them a lot of credit, the Cardinals and all. But I mean, but look what our offensive line did against the Cowboys. Got a long way to go. Long way to go. All right, then I'm going to go overall here, the overall team grades, right? Okay. Miami is number 1, 87.8. The Giants. Giants are number 31, 60.4. Let me see now. That just goes to show you, I mean, what the no love the Giants get. There are, top of the Giant, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 teams on top of the Giants who are 0-2 who are graded better than the Giants are. Wait. The only team that's worse than the Giants is the Panthers. And I'm not quite sure what they're doing, what's going on right now between the Saints and the Panthers. But the Giants are no love. Offense here. Who we got? Dolphins are number 1, 87.8. The Giants are number 25, 63.4. Passing grade. The Giants are not too bad. Once again, Dolphins, 91.4. The Giants are number 17, 67.4. So this good performance here propelled them quite a bit up. Quite a bit. Pass blocking. The Raiders, 82.3. And the Giants, we need to go all the way down to the bottom down there. Pretty far down to the bottom. The Giants are number 25, 52.3 pass blocking grade. Not very good. Receiving grade. Dolphins are number 1, 82.1. And the Giants receiving grade is, let's see here, number 30, 58.8. Not impressive. They're running. All right. The Bears, well, Justin Fields, that helps. The Bears, 88.4 is their running grade. The Giants, 74.8. But once again, Daniel Jones, he helps. So the Giants are, ninth. The Giants are ninth in running grade. Run blocking. The Eagles, 74.7. And the Giants are number 16. Wow. And 61.4 with run blocking. Defensive grade. Here we go. Cowboys, number 1, 90.6. And the Giants should be pretty low. Pretty low here. Giants are number 29. Defensive grade overall, 57.5. Run defense. Yeah, we should be pretty low on this one. The Colts are number 1, 83.5. And let's see, the Giants run defense, number 27, 53.2. Tackling. Cowboys number 1, 76.3. And the Giants are number 18, 61.9. Now they fell down because their tackling grade last week against the Cowboys, the Giants were I think in the top 10. As far as their tackling grade. So they got a little bit worse here this week against the Cardinals. Pass rush. Yeah, we're down on. Steelers are number 1 at a 90. Cowboys are number 2 at 88.8. But the Giants, I have no idea how this is pass rush. The Giants, according to PFF, they're number 19. 65.5. Somehow we're middle of the pack and we still don't even have a sack yet. Coverage grade. Let's see. Cowboys 89.8. And let's see. Giants are number 28. Not very impressive. 56.7. And special teams. The Saints 90.6. And the Giants are number 30 overall, 53.2. So, I mean, the Giants obviously got some work cut out for them, but nice to see it. Sexy Dexy. I mean, now of course it's it's not with especially with Sexy Dexy. It's not always with him. How come we only got why do you only got 2 tackles for? How come he did? I mean, what's he doing? Is he taking up blockers, consuming blocker? Right? So it's nice to see that he's grading out well. And of course, now you got the big contract, and Daniel Jones did very, very well with the big contract. It just the thing is you can't with Leonard Williams because Gettleman was kicking money down the road and all. That's why he's getting $32 million this year. I mean, but the problem is that, between, Sexy Dexy and Leonard Williams, between the two of them, it's actually, it's making like $23 million a year. And then you got 32. So we got, a lot of money allocated to that defensive front. Then you throw Carriquet in there. He's making $10 million. Pick number 5 in the draft is Kayvon Thibodeau. And it's like, how come we can't stop a run? We can't, what is going on? It's just embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing. All right, then we got let's see here. The Cardinals collapse versus the Giants made history. Giants pulled off a historic comeback. Now this is a Cardinals website, so let's see here. Yet the tide quickly turned at State Farm Stadium. New York began the third quarter with an opening drive touchdown, though the Cardinals answered and went up 28-7. That's when all hell broke loose for Jonathan Gannon and his staff as the Giants scored 24 unanswered points to find their first win of the season in a 31-28 fashion. We've got to coach better. We've got outplayed in the second half, a tale of 2 halves. We have to do a better job to get our guys out because the effort's there and the intensity is there. The intensity was there. You got to give the Cardinals all the credit in the world there. We've got to coach a little bit better, Gannon said, following the game. So you got to, especially because the Cardinals are not really predicted to go very far, if anywhere. Really. But you got to, without question, the intensity was there. All right, so we got Week 2's battle between the Cardinals and the Giants made history in the following ways. It was the largest comeback in the Giants franchise history for New York. I believe it ties the 1949. The Giants were down 28-7. Oddly enough, to the Cardinals. I believe it was. Let me type this in here real fast. There we go. I believe it was 28-7. I know it was to the Cardinals. And then the Giants wound up winning, I think it was 41-38. Oddly enough, it was the Cardinals. Obviously, at the time, it was the Chicago Cardinals. Let's see. The Giants were not a good team that year. They were they finished 6-6. I mean, not horrible, but they didn't have a winning season. They won 41-38, and I think in the second quarter they were down 28-7. Yeah, at halftime they were down 28-7. So I guess then the Giants started to come back on the opening kickoff. This is 1949. The opening kickoff of the third quarter, Jack Solscheider ran it back 95 yards for a touchdown to make it 28-14. Then the Giants got a 25-yard fumble return for a touchdown. I guess they missed the extra point to make it 28-20. Then Gene Roberts of the Giants had a 1-yard run. Ben Agajanian, the toeless wonder, kicked the extra point. It was 28-27. Then the Cardinals responded. They had a 27-yard field goal to make it 31-27 going into the fourth quarter. The Giants, Gene Roberts, once again scored on a 1-yard touchdown run. Ben Agajanian kicked the extra point, make it 34-31 Giants. So the Giants were down 28-7. And just into the fourth quarter, the Giants took a 34-31 lead. Cardinals will not be denied. The Cardinals came back. Elmer Angsman had a 26-yard rush. And with the extra point, the Cardinals went up 38-34. But then Joe Scott on a 1-yard touchdown run with a Ben Agajanian extra point, the Giants would prevail 41-38. So the Giants were down 28-7 in 1949 to the Chicago Cardinals. And they scored, 30? And then they outscored them 34-10 the rest of the way. So they scored 5 touchdowns in the second half. Agajanian must have missed one of his extra points. So the Giants scored 5 touchdowns in the second half, and the Cardinals only scored 10 points. And oddly enough, this game was on the road as well, too. But this one was in Chicago. It was played at Comiskey Park. That's where the Chicago Cardinals played their games at in 1949. So, but oddly enough, the Giants overcame 21-point leads 2 times. I guess they went all the way back to the beginning of the Giants' existence when they played the Providence Steamroller in October of 1925. So I guess they went all the way back to their first game ever, and I guess came back and said that the Giants have only come back from 21-point deficit. This is just their second time in history, but both times were on the road. Both times were against the Cardinals, oddly enough. Daniel Jones became the first quarterback in NFL to do the following in the second half of a game. Threw for 250 yards, rushed for 50-plus yards, threw for multiple touchdowns, rushed for a touchdown, and had no turnovers. Michael Vick did it as well, but he must have had a turnover. Because Boomer Esiason put something out there, I think on his Twitter, that said since 2000, Daniel Jones and Michael Vick are the only quarterbacks since 2000 to do this. But he must have had Michael Vick must have had maybe a turnover in the second half. I don't know what game it was, what year it was. I think he might have said it, but I forgot. But I don't know if they came back and won. I don't even know. But so Daniel Jones and Michael Vick were the 2 quarterbacks that do this, but I guess Daniel Jones is the only one who had no turnovers. And in a moment, I'm going to show you another stat that we maybe might have forgot about with Daniel Jones, who's the only one with no turnovers. Per 98.7's Vince Marotta, since moving to Arizona in 1988, the Cardinals had been 29-0 in games where they scored 28 or more points and didn't commit a turnover. So after Sunday's game, they're now 29-1, which once again just goes to show the Giants aren't getting any turnovers and they're not getting any sacks. Yeah, they're very, very lucky. They can't stop the run. They're getting no turnovers and they're getting no sacks. Other than that, our defense great. Once again, it's only 2 games. We've got some new parts in there. Azeez Ojulari's not in there. I don't know if and when he'll ever be healthy. But, it's – and once again, we got 2 rookie cornerbacks in there. So, we've got some new moving parts. But 2 games, can't stop the run, no sacks. No. I don't think the Cowboys had any turnovers in the first game. So we have not – But so the Cardinals were 29-0 when they scored 28 or more points at home. Since moving to Arizona, maybe since moving to Arizona. Oh, okay, 1988. So maybe it wasn't. Maybe they could have done it on the road too. But so now the Giants snapped that streak. So now the Cardinals are 29-1 when they scored 20 since 1988, when they scored 28 or more points and don't commit a turnover. The Giants are just the 3rd team in NFL history to suffer a 40-point loss while also mounting a 20-point-plus comeback in the same season. Right? Giants did it back-to-back games. They're the only team to do so in consecutive weeks. And perhaps not historical, but the Giants had less than a 4% chance of winning in the third quarter, according to ESPN's FPI. Less than a 4% chance of winning. But the Giants were also, obviously, we were talking about historically bad, right? Last week. No team in NFL history has done all of this in 1 year, right? Given, I guess it was 40 or more points, had an interception return for a touchdown, blocked field goal for a touchdown, giving up 7 or more sacks or whatever it was. All those stats. No NFL team has done that in history in a season, and the Giants did all that in 1 day, 1 game, all of those things. So I mean, it just goes to show you a tale of 2 weeks. The Giants were historically bad against the Cowboys, and then in the second half of this game, they were historically good. Unbelievable. But as I said, Daniel Jones became the first quarterback in the NFL to do the following in the second half of the game. He threw for 250 yards, rushed for 250 or more yards, rushed for 50 or more yards, threw multiple touchdown passes, and rushed for a touchdown, and he had no turnovers in 1 half. He's the only quarterback in NFL history to do that. Now, here's another thing he's the only quarterback in NFL history to do. Let's not forget this, too. He's the only quarterback and the only rookie quarterback in NFL history. Fran Tarkenton did this as well, but he had 1 interception in his 3 games. And as I forget, Daniel Jones only started 12 games his rookie season. He didn't start. He played in 13. One of them was he had like 1 drive against the Cowboys when we were losing in Dallas by like 7,000 points. He had like 1 drive. So he actually played in 13 games, but he only started 12 games. So he started 75% of the games that season, right? But he's the only rookie quarterback in NFL history to have 3 games. We had over 300 yards passing, 4 or more touchdown passes, and 0 interceptions. And let's not forget, actually, he had, I mean, if you want to actually, if you want to look at it like this too, right? Those are touchdown passes. He actually had 4 touchdowns against Tampa Bay. 2 were passing and 2 were running. He had 2 running touchdowns. So he had those 4 games he had in his rookie season. Remember, he only started in 12 games. His first game was against Tampa Bay. He had over 300 yards passing. No turnover, no interceptions. I'm saying no interceptions. And he had 2 rushing touchdowns. So he had 4 total touchdowns, and he threw for over 300 yards. No interceptions. Against Detroit on October 27th, about a month later, he had 332 yards passing, 4 touchdown passes, no interceptions. Then against the Jets, like 2 weeks later, it looks like, against the Jets, he had 308 yards passing, 4 touchdown passes, no interceptions. Then the Pierce Division Stones. Obviously, this was the overtime game. It was on December 22nd. That's when Caden Smith caught Caden Smith had 2 touchdown receptions in this game, but Caden Smith caught the winner in overtime. But Daniel Jones, 352 yards passing, 5 touchdown passes, no interceptions. He's the only quarterback. I mean, you can go however you want to look at it, right? But he's the only rookie quarterback in NFL history to have 3 games. And remember, he only started in 75%. He started 12 of the 16 games. Now, maybe if he played in the other 4, that was Pat Shurmur was calling the plays too, right? So let's not forget about that. But he only started 12 out of the 16 games. I said maybe if he played the other, maybe he would have had another one. But he's the only quarterback in rookie quarterback in NFL history with at least 3 games of over 300 yards passing, 4 or more touchdown passes, and no interceptions. As I said, he actually had 4 games where he had 4 touchdowns, not passes, but 4 touchdowns over 300 yards and no interceptions. So, Daniel Jones is in the record book a couple times now. All right, a couple times. What we need to see, obviously is, he's got to put the team on the back, right? And, don't get me wrong. He put the team on his back yesterday. but that was against not a very good team. One of these times, it really, be good for him to, Kenny, waiting to see, can he put the team on his back against one of these elite defenses, right? Like maybe every now and then Eli did, right? Against the the championship, 2011 championship game against the 49ers. He was just getting every play, guys were just mauling him to death. He's coming off the ground, helmet's on sideways. 7 guys are just banging him. He's throwing the ball and getting back up, and just, every now and then, Eli put the team on his back and drove him down the field against good teams. Now we need Daniel Jones to do that. Now, the one problem is, at least for Eli, for at least a little while in his career, he had that good offensive line. We don't have that. We got a patchwork of offensive linemen in there. So against good defensive fronts, the guy's going to be freaking running for his life. So it's going to be very, very difficult. Thursday night, very, very difficult. The only one nice thing is that hopefully Thursday, win, lose, or draw, whatever. Hopefully we come out relatively healthy. Hopefully, knock on wood, because then we got a 10, 11-day layoff until we got to play the Seahawks. So, a nice long layoff, get some guys healthy back, and then maybe we can start, taking a hold of, because we got the Bills, the Dolphins, the Jets are coming up, the Seahawks, and we got the Commanders, and then we got to play the Cowboys, so we got some tough games coming up. We got to stay healthy and get some guys back. But Daniel Jones, absolutely phenomenal. He looked absolutely horrible against the Cowboys, but then again, 95% of the plays he was running for his life. Not many quarterbacks could do it. I'd have a hard time thinking Patrick Mahomes even could have won that game against the Cowboys. Not the way they were rushing the quarterback. Simply unbelievable. But Thursday night's going to be another test for the Giants. So, well, that pretty much wraps it up here. 51, almost 52 minutes. Anybody spent any time at all listening to me, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me. Thank you. As always, you guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo!